has won the Edinburgh Award for Flash Fiction, which is open to writers worldwide.
And we will also be announcing the winner of the Golden Hare Award, which is open to writers living in Scotland.
We were stunned by both the number and the quality of the entries we received this year. All judging in the competition is anonymous. Neither our readers nor the judges have any idea who has written the stories until all the judging is complete. This is the first time we've had 4 writers from Scotland in the Flash Bash final.
After all the decisions were made and all the judging was complete, we played the recordings of the readings made by our finalists to the judges, Zoe Strachan and Louise Welsh. You'll see and hear their wonderful reactions during the show. Here are the 4 finalists chosen by our judges. I'm very happy to introduce Laura Wetzevelt, the author of 309. Welcome, congratulations. How are you feeling?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I was just so happy to be here. Still surprised.
Michael Callahan, writer of Snapchat. Hello, Michael. Welcome back to Flash Bash, although it's very different this year.
It is very different, yes. I'm still coping with the technology, but hopefully I'll be okay.
And Louise Parker, the author of Oakwoods. Welcome, Louise, and how are you today?
Oh, hi everyone. I'm fine. I'm very excited to be here. Absolutely thrilled. It's just brilliant. So thank you very much.
And Kirsten Hammond, who wrote Execution. Very happy to see you in the final, Kirsty. Have you got over the shock yet?
No, no, I don't think I have actually. I've had a week and I'm still just overjoyed to be here. Yeah, really excited.
Michael, you tend to write quite creepy stories, and I was wondering if you ever give yourself a shock by how creepy you are.
You know, some people have said to me, you know, you're actually all right in real life. You're not as weird as I thought you might be. But I do tend to, I mean, I'm a fan of like Stephen King and Tana French, and so I suppose I'm drawn to those sort of stories. And whilst I like nice, happier endings in novels, for short stories, I tend to think something dark and horrible has to happen. that's kind of my general go-to sort of idea. Take a normal everyday event and just make it really weird and dark, and that's how a lot of my stories start off.
Here is our first finalist this evening. Michael Callahan is going to read Snapchat for us.
Snapchat. I rush home as soon as the school bell goes, and I'm there in 20 minutes. When I get in, Mum's on the sofa watching Pointless. I ignore her and go to my bedroom. I'm keen to talk to Kira again. We've been chatting for 3 days and we've been getting along great. She's really cool and pretty, unless that photo of hers is well photoshopped. I log on to Cool Crew. Kira's already logged on. Hi, Kay. What are you up to? I type. A few seconds, then. Not much, Ollie. Bored. Not bored now, though. I'm here. Typing's boring. LMRL. Pause. Let's meet in real life. This is a development. For real? Yeah. You said you're near Edinburgh. Get the train to Waverley. I'll meet you outside Burger King at 6:30. I smile. How well do I really know you, Kira? Ah, you don't. How do I know you're really a 15-year-old schoolboy staying with his mum? True, I type. Okay, I'll meet you. Cool. Don't be late. I go downstairs. Mum looks up. You hungry, son? Nah, going out. Mum keeps staring at me. I worry about you, son. You spend all your time in that bedroom, or else you're gone for hours and don't say where you've been. You've had that dead-end school caretaker job for 10 years now. You could do so much better with your life. Smile. Don't worry, Mum. We go to leave. Brian, she calls. Where are you going? Brian, please. I ignore her and set off to meet Kira.
That was so chilling.
It is, isn't it? It's great to hear it out loud and think of it again. It really retains its power, doesn't it? The twist still works. It still got impact.
Everything's waiting for those final few lines, and the dialogue and the interactions are done so well that you don't see it coming at all. You know, it was a surprise the first time, and even though I've read it several times since, it's still a surprise when you hear it being read out. That was a beautiful reading.
Yes, I like the pacing and the different voices and the text, the messaging speak really seems well observed and authentic. Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, thank goodness the trains are off. I haven't
I
been
know.
thinking that.
I know, it pisses me right off going to getting a train to Edinburgh Waverley now.
Yeah, that was really wonderful.
Second finalist is Louise Farker, who wrote The Oakwoods. Louise, in The Oakwoods, the wood itself seems like a character. Is this something that features in a lot of your work?
I think most of my writing has a very strong sense of place. It often starts with the landscape, and from there the story and the characters grow. I think landscape's really interesting in place because it gives the physical parameters of a character in a story, but then it can be so much more than that, reflecting the emotions of the character, foreshadowing events. It's very sensory, and you can bring a lot into a story from the landscape. And I think in this story, the sense of place is very strongly intertwined with the character and how she's resolving things through the landscape.
Here is Louise Farker reading The Oakwoods.
The Oakwoods. There are problems to be solved, decisions to be made. Hand in hand, we walk and walk through the Salem Oakwoods, past ancient trunks gnarled with moss and bark. The earth, thick with amber leaves, falls steeply to the river's bank, where branches ride the tangled water until caught by pewter rocks. Children call to each other through the faint whisper of the trees, their bright jackets darting like fireflies through the dusky light. They bring our walk to life. I think of the time past since the first test, when we waited for the colour change, surprised when it didn't. I thought it was him. Time and test came and went, like the ebb and flow of the river, until facts showed it to be us both. It was pleasing to know our loss became blameless. Tendrils push upwards at our feet, the saplings of these woods birthing for long days ahead of knots and lichen and old age. I dreamt of birds last night, layered in rows, finely balanced on narrow branches, orderly and expectant. I think of them now as a hooded crow sweeps overhead, not choosing not to stop and gather like my ethereal friends. Our hands hold fast, thumbs and fingers weave together. Yes, our decision is made and our problems eased, not to fade, but to lessen, just as the woodland quiets when night rests a dark head. It was and would be just us.
That's really beautiful.
It is. It's so evocative. It's lovely hearing it read aloud. I think the level of detail and the close observation of nature really it's so redolent, and so it makes me think so much of our walks in lockdown and how important it can be to see things, see trees, see animals, and yet underneath there's this very human story that's playing out just subtly, and to what I think is just a gorgeous conclusion.
Yeah, so there's a beautiful cadence there, and I think you hear the poetic cadence coming through with the readers, the actual words of the reader coming through. It shows you how good it can be to hear the author reading their own work. But I agree with Zoe, there's something about the evocation of nature there. I don't mean that it makes other problems small. You know, it doesn't do that at all. It's clear the narrator's gone through quite an experience, you know, with their partner. So it's not that it makes the problem disappear or small, but somehow enables a level of peace with it, or a level of, I don't know, the possibility of going on. And there's something about the constancy of nature, the way that nature survives, that I think this writer has managed to get into that very short piece.
Yeah, about enduring and love enduring, and us having our little place in the world and in the universe. Yeah.
Both transitory and remaining.
Now we come to Laura Matzofeld, who wrote 309. Laura, your own writing, clearly you're very good at flash fiction. Is that a favourite form, or have you a favourite genre?
I mainly write short stories and flash fiction, so that is what sort of naturally happens. But I'm trying to write something longer right now. I just figured that I've got the support structure doing a PhD right now. It's not something I'm very good at, so I figured I might as well give it a go now when there are experienced writers there to help me.
Laura, will you read for us, please, your story, 309?
309. You can watch your feet like you're in a film, like it's not you walking. You just see the shoe go up, hit the ground. She was out of breath, walking too fast. She looked at her watch. 3 exactly. That you gonna buy your Ryan a present, hen? Another mom asked. A pause, a beat too long. Aye. The shop was up by the school, and the kids were all streaming out and yelling. She wished she could have come at another time, but it had to be now. The door jingled as she entered. Ah, there you are. Thought you'd be wanting this, Mary said, holding up a football top, just the right size for the age she was now. The sight of it, bigger than the one from last year, made her fumble her purse, but Mary was already folding the top and gently sliding it into a bag. Now you put that away. 306. She had to hurry. Her eyes went down again, watching her feet go up, hit the ground, up, hit the ground. Then she stopped. She was here. She looked at her watch, heart beating. 308, a minute early. She stood by the railing and waited. The sound of a car getting nearer. 309. The car passed, slowing down for the speed bumps that were put in. She turned around, carefully took the top out of the bag and fixed it to the railing. Then there was quiet.
Oof.
It's really moving.
It is, isn't it? I think it's so well paced, and there's so much restraint and understatement to the way in which the story plays out, that it just adds to that. Yeah, it adds to that genuine feeling behind it, I think. And I love the sense of other people supporting this person and their grief.
There's a palpable sense of tension there as well, you know, that is encouraged by the minutes moving along. And of course, the first time that you read this or you hear it, we don't know what's going to happen. We know that something's coming and we don't know what's happening. And actually, one of the clever things about the story is that it doesn't come. It's already happened, but other future disasters are hopefully averted by the speed bumps. I think it's a really smart story, actually, and it's one that it does move the heart, because we realize that this, you know, these tributes that we pass, and we don't know what happened, we don't know who the tributes to, they still touch us, don't they? And I think this story engages with that. It gives you a genuine feeling.
It does. And thinking about flash fiction as a form, you know, the writers had so few words to work with. And this is a story in which every single one of those words is, you know, part and plays its part, and there's not one wasted, but it really creates the world.
Yeah, it's like a heartbeat, isn't it? Those minutes.
Yeah.
Our fourth finalist is Kirsten Hammond, who wrote Execution. Kirsty, you're a member of the Air Writers Group. Has that been really important for you with your writing?
Yeah, absolutely. No, Air Writers Club has been invaluable. It really has. I joined in 2016, I think it was. And I remember being very nervous going to it. I thought it was proper writers, and I wasn't a proper writer. You know, I had that kind of imposter syndrome, I think. And everyone was just so friendly and so encouraging, and it didn't matter if you'd never been published, it didn't matter if you'd never written anything before. The whole club just so supportive. There was a fellow club member that let me know about this competition, so yeah, I literally wouldn't be here without Air Writers.
Here is Kirsty Hammond reading her story, Execution.
Execution. Ayla McClymonte, for your crimes of witchcraft, you are sentenced to death. Standing in the crowd, Katrina sees her friend crumble, desolation saturating every crevice of her face. It's not right, whispers Margaret. She's no more a witch than I am. Is there anything we can do? The executioner holds a flaming torch aloft as he trudges closer to Ayla. Her hands and feet are bound around a wooden stake, and a pile of kindling reaches up, waiting to consume her. Her eyes dart over the crowd, unable to focus. Someone sacrificed Farmer Donald's sheep, says Katrina, and Ayla's getting the blame. They won't change their minds now. But she didn't do it. Don't you think I know that? The executioner reaches Ayla's side. It's too late. All we can do is watch. I can't. Margaret turns to leave. The voices around them surge, and the women look back at the platform. The executioner is on his knees, his face reddening as he tries to take a breath that doesn't touch his lungs. Clawing at his neck, he looks out, begging, but falls before anyone can reach him, blood dripping from his glassy eyes. The torch rolls harmlessly away. As the crowd crushes forward, no one notices the bindings glide from Ayla's hands and feet, or see her waver for a moment before escaping. No one, except Katrina, who pushes her spellbook, recently stained red, further into the folds of her coat and follows Ayla away from the crowd.
It's a wonderful confounding of our expectations, isn't it? You know, it's a wonderful escape and a wonderful relief.
I love the dialogue and the extent of, you know, telling that whole story again in the few hundred words. And it is a treat sometimes to have a happy ending, isn't it? It really is. But this is a topical one too. You know, we talked, I think, before about the Witches of Scotland project, and you know, that's why it starts with, you know, a scene of such horror, because we know that those things were real and these dreadful things happened in our towns and cities.
Yeah, because although it's a historical story, as Zoe says, it's very much up to the minute, and this is a history that Scotland is still grappling with and still trying to acknowledge, or not quite acknowledging enough for some people's, you know, for some of our tastes. So I think it's really well put together, and of course it's got contemporary resonance. Women are still called these names, you know, or varieties of these names. I think it's a wonderful story, and I'm so glad that she escapes with the help of her friends.
And I like this. This was different in our shortlist, and amongst the submissions, we got very few pieces that were genre, you know, that were historical, or like this, that actually have, you know, something inexplicable happen. I thought it was, yeah, it was really appealing, compelling and appealing.
You've heard all the stories. Now all that remains is to find out about the prizes. So is everybody ready?
Yep.
Yep.
So the Golden Hair Award goes to
Snapchat.
Hey.
Oh, that's it. A huge surprise. I'm delighted to get that. That's fantastic. Thank you very much.
third prize in the Edinburgh Award for Flash Fiction goes to...
And this was a really difficult choice, but we've awarded it to a story that both moved us and had such subtlety of rendition, and one that made our heart move at the same cadence as the narrators. And that story is the fantastically written 309.
Well done.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Like, I honestly thought they might be going away with nothing, so that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay, drum roll. So the second prize and the Edinburgh Award for Flash Fiction goes to...
Execution.
Hey! Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm just delighted. That's amazing.
You have to share that with your colleague at the writers group.
Yes. Yes, I will do.
1, 2, 3. The winner
of the Edinburgh Award for Flash Fiction 2021 is
to
the Oakwoods.
Yay! A huge congratulations on a story that was moving and beautifully rendered, a poetic story that really stayed with us.
That really spoke to us.
Thank you so much. I'm completely
Congratulations.
overwhelmed. Thank you. It really does mean so much to me. I've just loved every moment of the whole process. I think thank you to the three of you who have just made it so warm, and I'm absolutely thrilled, and I've loved this as well today. It's been lovely. So I'm so pleased. Thank you very, very, very much.
And congratulations to all the shortlisted authors too, and everyone who entered the competition. We're still just so impressed by people producing work of such wonderful quality that really transported us when we were reading it, and then forced us to make a really difficult decision about the top 3 prizes, which was, yeah.
This wasn't easy at all, but I can genuinely say it was a pleasure. And I really appreciate the work that the writers have done. And I think flash fiction is such an amazing form, and the parameters really encourage creativity. You're restricted, and yet the writers come up with such amazing solutions to those restrictions. And it was such a pleasure. I can't wait to see what people come up with next year. But thank you all so much for such a wonderful variety, and for giving us a great journey during lockdown.
Congratulations again.
Yes, congratulations.
We hope that conditions will change at some point this year and allow us to invite everyone from Flash Bash 21 to come to the Scottish Arts Club in Edinburgh for an in-person celebration.
Having experienced the in-person events the Scottish Arts Club can do, I can vouch for the fact that it's a fantastic experience. This has been great as well, obviously, and it's a tribute to all you managed to pull off this Zoom event. But I think in the Scottish Arts Club, getting to the final is, to me anyways, a better experience than actually winning some other competitions, because you make us all feel as if genuinely that we're all winners. So thank you very much.
Just echo that as well. Yeah, thank you so much to the three of you and all the readers and everything. It's just been such a great experience.
The Edinburgh Award for Flash Fiction is a project of the Scottish Arts Trust, which is a registered charity. All of us and all of the readers are volunteers. Any funds that are raised from entry fees are used to support the competition or to support the arts in Scotland. Huge thanks to Zoe and Louise, to all of our readers, our writers, to Di Lowe, who processes all of the entries, and goodbye from all of us, and get writing.